Hey, what is up, disc golfers? Today on Iceberg TV, I want to showcase all these lightweight discs from Dynamic Discs and Latitude 64 that they sent me. Give you a quick rundown of all the lightweight plastic they gave me to test out. Opto Air Pure, Opto Air Fuse, Lucid Air Maverick, Opto Air River, Lucid Air Evader, Lucid Air Breakout, Lucid Air Felon, Opto Air Ballista Pro. Now, on top of just showcasing all these discs for you guys today, I want to actually go over some of the pros and cons of bagging and throwing lightweight discs. I also think there's some very common misconceptions about lightweight discs. So we'll throw them, we'll give a tip here and there, and hopefully you guys can learn something from today's video. But if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel and let me know in the comment section down below. So the first disc I want to talk about is this Opto Air Pure. Now, when I first grabbed this thing, it's in the 150s. It's a 156 Opto Air Pure. And I picked this thing up. I was like, wow, this is going to be ridiculously understable. I'm not going to be able to throw it. This, that, the other thing. That's the first misconception about lightweight discs. Everyone thinks that lightweight discs are going to be flippy. Anytime someone pulls a disc out of their bag, you ask them what it is. They say, let's say a 165 Wraith. Everyone always just assumes, oh, that must be super flippy. Well, that's the first misconception. Not all lightweight discs are flippy or flippier than their max weight counterparts. So I'll throw this Pure for you guys. You can see what I'm talking about here. And yes, it does fly relatively straight, but I've thrown max weight Pures that have way more turn than that and way less fade than that. So as you can see, that Pure does not fly like the absolute paper plate that we thought it would. Now, the next example we have is the Opto Air Fuse. This is going to be another great example of that. What I'm finding is that early in the flight, you will get a little bit of turn, but lightweight discs slow down faster than max weight discs. Once a disc slows down, it's time to fade. So you're going to get a super consistent fade out of the lightweight disc. So we'll give this Fuse a throw. You can see, same kind of thing, flying very straight, very glidey, but once it starts to slow down, it just drops and fades. So you're going to get a nice turn very early in the flight, but an extra consistent fade late in the flight. Now, probably my favorite disc that they've sent me is this Lucid Air Maverick. Again, Mavericks are known to be pretty flippy, and I thought this was going to be no exception to that. But same kind of thing, I can really trust this Maverick pretty hard and flat or on slight hyzer, and it's going to pick up and go very straight for a long ways, but that fade is going to kick in just like all the other throws we've seen so far today. You can see hanging on to that turn, but still having a very good fade at the end. And I'm throwing these pretty hard. These are definitely no joke. Another great example of this is the River. The River was a disc that I've seen people throw in the past, and they're super flippy, but this lightweight Opto Air River, shocking stability. Even letting it go on a bit of Annie there, just getting super glide, but super consistent fade. So I've never been a guy to bag lightweight discs, but I'm finding that one of the biggest pros is that early flight shapeability. It's going to want to hold the line earlier in the flight for longer, but then you still get that fade at the end. And I find this particularly useful when approaching the basket with a putter. So I'm really looking forward to dialing in the Pure and the Fuse when approaching the basket, because once they slow down, they just drop and die. They don't have quite as much push at the end of the flight. So they go where they're going to go, and then they fall out of the sky. Now we have the Lucid Air Evader here. I've really been enjoying this on forehand lines, so we'll give it a forehand. But this Evader, again, shockingly stable. And maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just silly, but when I was pulling out these discs and I was like, breakout, understable driver, and then I look, it's 146 grams, I thought I was going to have the Alden Harris F7 experience all over again. But the more I throw these, the more I find that I'm going to be cycling these into my bag, because it's just a really enjoyable and easy, shapeable type of disc to throw. These lighter weight discs are easier to kind of get on a line early in the flight. So I play in the woods a lot. When I'm playing in the woods, I want to make sure the disc stays on the line, especially early in the flight. And then they don't kind of push and fade off the fairway. They just sort of fall out of the sky at the end. So I feel like there's a lot of ability to be more accurate with the lighter weight discs. So we'll try out this breakout here, give it a nice firm throw. Tickled the trees a bit, but it was still going to fade at the end, I guarantee you. Now the last two discs, crazy overstable, lightweight Felon, 159. So not super lightweight, but definitely still very lightweight. Where I think overstable utility discs in the lighter weight shine are for overhand throws, so thumbers, tomahawks, or any specialty throw of that variation. Anytime you're up here and you're throwing, this shoulder is in a much more compromised position than when it's down here on a backhand and on a forehand. So anytime the shoulder kind of gets pushed away from the body, this happens when you don't coil on your forehand, you wind up like this. Or if you do a lot of overhand shots, this shoulder can be in a very compromised position. I like having a lighter weight disc for these kinds of throws because I don't have to throw them as hard to get that same desired effect. I'll show you how this guy flies on the forehand, but that is a huge plus with the lightweight overstable utility discs. Great option for someone like me who doesn't like throwing thumbers. I'd rather throw a lightweight disc on a thumber soft and get the same action as a max weight disc thrown hard. So I'll show you guys the stability on this Lucid Air Felon. And that was, 400 feet of power on the flick. Super overstable, just dies. Now, I know I've given you guys a lot of pros with the lightweight discs. Now I'm going to give you some cons. When you are transitioning to throwing lightweight discs, if your form is not perfect, you have, a little bit of rounding, your timing's already not great, you may struggle with your timing because all of a sudden, your arm's moving at one speed. Now all of a sudden, the arm is moving at a completely different speed. So you're going to kind of hit the power pocket at a different time than how you normally would. So there's definitely an adjustment period, especially if your form isn't great with lightweight discs. But Opto Air Ballista Pro, super overstable, like really overstable. So we'll give this guy a throw. You guys can see one last throw. You can see just going straight early in the flight, but flying absolutely ridiculously overstable. So again, the pros, easier to hit lines early in the flight, super fun to throw, very shapeable. When you're approaching the green with lighter weight discs, you're going to be a lot less likely to skip and skirt past the green because the lightweight discs are going to come down much more soft. They slow down faster. And to break down the cons, you may struggle with some timing issues. Again, finding the power pocket can be troublesome with lightweight discs. And then the other con is I don't personally believe that lightweight discs are going to go farther unless it's in an extreme windy situation like when they do the distance competitions. I think there's a sweet spot. Most of these discs I would consider like ultra lightweight. So they're all like pretty much less than 150 unless I otherwise specified. I think the sweet spot for distance is probably in that 163 to 167 range. But once you get into the 150s and the 140s, I think you start to lose that carry on those distance shots. Again, that's just my opinion. But I think there's a lot of misconceptions about lightweight discs. I think a lot of people think that they're just for old players, for women, for young players and juniors, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. And I actually plan on bagging at least one or two lightweight discs, especially for the forehand shots where I want to really keep the disc on the line, I find it really easy to hit lines with lightweight discs. And then again, playing in the woods, I can pull out that Maverick. As long as I hit my line, I know early in the flight that Maverick is going to just hold the line. So as long as I hit the line, the Maverick will stay on the line. And that is such a useful shot in the woods. And that is going to be so valuable to your game, help you shoot lower scores, and help you be a better player overall. So hopefully this video helps you expand your mindset to lighter weight discs. I know I was skeptical at first, and now I feel super confident with lightweight discs in my hand. Again, I have a discount code in the link in the description below. If you click that link, you'll get 5% off over on any Trilogy discs on the website, so you can go check those out if you want. The apparel I've been wearing is Birdie Disc Golf Supply, and my disc golf bag is Berg's Bags over at bergsdiscsports.com. Use code ICE20. It'll save 20% on your purchase over on the website. So go check all that stuff out. You guys are watching Iceberg TV, and take care.